What's going on, everybody? It's True Nation with the Midwest Takeoff. We are Season 3, Episode 7. And I have two headlining guests right here. Y'all know them around the city. Introduce yourselves.
Well, my name is Kamen, also known as Two Moles in the Mouth. And I'm actually pretty excited to just go ahead and I haven't been talking for a minute, so this is my debut.
Welcome back to the scene.
Right. And, well, thank you for having me, by the way.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And hey, y'all, it's your girl Britt. I am with Beau Tea Told Podcast. I'm also co-host on the Pull Up Experience podcast, so 2 roles. Glad to be here, though.
I'm glad that you guys are
vibe.
here. Well, I'm gonna start with you, right? Because you are a podcaster like myself.
Yeah.
How is it handling 2 podcasts at the same time? You have Beau Tea is Told, and then you have the Pull Up Experience. What is that like? And then also, I guess it'd be a 2-part question.
Okay.
What is it like going off and branching off on your own?
Okay. Well, those are 2 very interesting questions to give me. Double hitter. All right.
Right off the bat.
Well, I will say this to be transparent, to be real. It is crazy hectic for me trying to do both. But somehow, by God's grace, I've been making it work, So I started off, obviously, as a co-host on the Pull Up Experience, and that has been an experience.
Okay.
That was
Shout
shout out to Brandon. He already know what it is. The whole crew, Steve, Bree, everybody. I love y'all. But that's been an experience because to be able to be around such phenomenal entrepreneurs, we've had you on. So, I mean, the list just goes on and on. That's what actually sparked my interest to start my own podcast. I didn't even know what entrepreneurship was until I was on the Pull Up Experience as that co-host. So that's the crazy part. I was a 9-to-5er and I was cool being a 9-to-5er. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just wait for my retirement at 66 and I'm good. But being around so many dope people and interviewing them and just realizing their stories similar to mine and how they branched off, leap of faith, I'm like, I kind of want to do it too. So Beau Tea Told has definitely that's my baby. Only a year and a half so far.
Okay.
But I have had great guests on. Again, have had you on.
I was definitely featured on the show a couple weeks ago, and it was phenomenal. It was fire, good vibes, and it was like a pink vibe, and she gave me pink lemonade too, and it was dope. It was just like super cool. Like I enjoyed every question. I'm not gonna lie.
Good, and so did the people. I mean, the people were smoking. That's been a great episode.
For sure.
So many people were surprised about that collaboration, but in a good way. So yeah, I was blessed to have you on the scene. And I would say that deciding to finally do it was just. I can't remember who I interviewed, but them just saying, like, don't just procrastinate, just do it.
Just go.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, to your point, before the camera started rolling, you can start it. It becomes crazy trying to be a one-man band doing it, though.
That is facts.
That
you got to have a team.
Insane. So that was very difficult, actually. And I did eventually. I had a few times of burnout, keeping it real. And it messed up my consistency on the show. So getting a team is very important, such as yourself. I see you got to, you got your team going, and that's a great thing. And Brandon kept speaking that on the Pull Up Experience, and he was right. So shout out to Bree with Overflow Studios. That's my girl. She literally, for 2025, transformed Beau Tea Told to something I don't even recognize sometimes. So
now, in the scene of marketing and everything like that, you're a guru at that. So how do you convey all these people to, like, hey, I'm this marketing woman, I'm powerful, black excellence, of course, but how do you get these clients to come to you and say, hey, I have that business for you,
Honestly,
and scale it?
I'm gonna be real with you. I started off kind of like advertising to get clients, and then as I kind of matured and seasoned a little bit, realized that it was best for me to have more word of mouth. Because quantity isn't always best. I shoot for quality. Quality is something that I shoot for. So I don't just accept any client.
Yeah.
And because of Two Moles in the Mouth, at first we had the whole podcast,
right?
Which I don't call it a podcast.
That was a question on here too.
I call it a show because it's a different vibe and feel, at least for me, and how I went about it. But as far as marketing and attracting businesses, it's all been word of mouth for the most part now. So I haven't been advertising as much, and that's been nice because if someone gives the word of mouth, my work is kind of like easier because like, oh yeah, I can vouch. She's great at what she does.
Exactly.
And so I've just been assisting different businesses behind the scenes, and just helping them. Yeah.
So what's one of those, I guess, marketing myths that everybody should stop believing?
That they should be constantly posting 3 times a day, every day.
That's a myth.
In my opinion.
Okay. You guys are experts.
It's more so quality over quantity.
Yes.
So, and that's one thing I've learned for myself, because I started off like, oh, I was in that burnout. You sit there and think like, I gotta post constantly, and then sometimes you lose the whole
creative.
Yeah, the whole then it's no longer authentic. You lose the whole transparency because it seems forced. So I don't post as much anymore because now I'm assisting other businesses regarding their marketing and their front facing appearance. Okay. So to attract other, clients and clientele. That has grown, so I don't really post as much anymore, and I don't really need to post as much anymore, and that's nice because it's less stress on my end. But I will say, utilizing certain tools, whether it's Google, advertising, utilizing your boosting on Instagram and things like that to reach certain markets and certain clientele. It's just a lot of tools that you can use, but as far as the quantity, don't focus on quantity, always focus on quality.
So I have a follow-up question with that, because it's like when marketing and people want to be seen by the masses, the whole earth should see me, right? How do you feel about AI? Like, is that taking over, or is that something that you can still utilize, still being your own boss?
I will say, I was a little taken back by the whole AI, and I'm like, they're taking over, but when you realize it ain't going nowhere,
it's not.
you gotta utilize it. And so I'm more so utilizing it a lot more now, as far as structuring certain things, getting things in a certain, and also it's knowledge based. I'm a knowledge seeker, so AI can be your best friend as far as how you delegate it and what you ask it to do.
True.
That is something that I've been utilizing it more for. It's vast. I'm not real big on having it, speak for me and just have a whole Kamen showing up somewhere. I'd rather it be me.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing that aspect, but as far as knowledge base and helping me structure certain things, I do like AI. Yeah. Okay. I love it regarding structuring. You can be your
best friend, but planning. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I'm saying.
So Brittany, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know these are my homies. So with your podcast being a relationship podcast, how do you stay non-biased, because you have men and women on your show?
Well, that's a good point. So that was the whole reasoning that I wanted my podcast to be a little different than what I have seen on YouTube as of lately, is I wanted it to have that unbiased feel. So I didn't want to just be me talking all the time. I did want to have a male guest on, and that way we can take certain relationship topics or questions and be able to expound on them, and you get those different viewpoints, and that way you get the male and female side. So that way it gives it a little difference, a little, nice little mix to it.
But because you're on social media, do you think that the social platform has ruined the way people look at relationships in 2025?
Absolutely. Yes. It's terrible. It's so diluted where everybody wants to look for the perfect relationship, and they're only looking at the exterior. So I'm a big fan of Tony Gaskins, and he's been doing like Pop the Balloon reviews. I never was looking at that show for real, but when he started taking them and really dissecting them and helping you to realize how shallow a lot of people are. You'll never get a good quality person if you're looking for the tall, dark, handsome guy to make 6 figures and all that. Like, all of that is a non-factor. And the real person, the real pure quality that you should be looking for in a person. And so that's when I'm like, I got to help some people out, because this ain't it.
So the reason I asked you that, because you're currently now married, right?
Yeah.
And how is being married with being basically like an influencer in the marketing area? How does that correlate?
It doesn't.
Cause you do modeling too. I've been seeing you.
Yeah. It doesn't really change anything for me. Because I was picky before. So I don't just mess with anybody. I play now. I'm a very sociable person. I love to engage.
Yeah.
I'm very engaging. I'm a touchy feely person,
Right.
And very intentional.
Artsy,
yeah. I am artsy. Yeah. So I would say now, because I'm with a person that knows me and accepts me for me.
Yeah.
And so it's not like I have to change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If anything, because he just allows me to be myself. If anything, I have to, because I care about him and love him so much, I am constantly thinking of how I'm representing him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even though he trusts me, I don't want the world to ever question anything about, the person I'm with. So it does allow me to navigate things differently.
Yeah.
I'm in spaces, but I mean, it don't stop nothing. If anything, me being married now has attracted a lot more interest.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
It always happens.
Good
Like
and
as soon as you're taken,
Yeah.
everybody wants you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I see you can
Yeah.
be quality with someone. I want that quality for myself
Yeah,
too.
and it ain't
I
happening.
see people do that all the time.
Yeah, it's
Especially-
weird.
Yeah,
It's weird.
that's
Yeah,
weird.
for
Weirdos
both men
out there.
and women.
Yeah, that's
and it ain't
weirdos.
going nowhere. So, I mean, they can try. But I ain't going nowhere.
So in your storytelling, in your producing and everything like that, how do your stories heal people in today's society? How do you think it can change lives?
I always go from a place of vulnerability. So marketing is all about storytelling.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell people. You can't sell anything without a good story.
It's literally in her bio.
It's all, yeah. I help people tell their stories. So any and everything has a story. It's about how you tell that story. And trying to be honest and transparent as much as you can. So there's always a strategy in how you tell a story as well. So me personally, as long as I'm sharing aspects that shows vulnerability where the audience can see themselves in, that typically helps and it answers questions. So marketing is not just about telling story, but I like to educate and entertain. So they want to be entertained, but if you can teach them something while you're, entertaining them, then you're hitting all these other levels and factors that will really just draw someone in. Whether it's just because you can go with just your voice, you're just talking, but then you're adding another element of the picture. And then you're adding another element of the background music. Then you're adding another,
It's layers
element.
to it.
Yeah, because so many people have things on what draws them in.
Right.
I'm an auditory person. I'm a visual person, or there's different things that catches and draws people. So if you have as many factors in that touches as many senses, the better. Because if it's only one sense, then you're only getting a specific audience.
Right.
As many senses that you can add in, the broader your audience is.
Okay.
As far as marketing, and telling a story. But that's my opinion.
So
That's what helped me.
See, and I'm glad I brought you two in because it's like I can bounce back and forth because how you guys are structured and how I know you guys. So with your podcast being a relationship podcast, right? And you hear the layers of this, how does that fit with the relationship part in this today's society, especially in social media, like right now?
Yeah, I know. Social media is, man, this can sometimes be the devil, I feel like, you know, because
people highlight reels aren't their real life.
That's the part that people are stuck on is what they see. They don't know the behind the scenes. I watched a few people that I felt were relationship goals fall apart right between, right before my eyes. And I'm like, but you never would have guessed it because of all that, they've got up their, their brand and their presence, and they have hundreds of thousands of followers, and then for it to all just come crashing down. So it really is, it does have to be really getting to know the person inside. I think more so than the outside. I mean, you don't want me to be butt ugly now.
Right. Still got to be attracted to the person.
Attraction is important.
Yeah, attraction is
But
important.
I feel like I'm going to go for me personally, I'm going to go for the average Joe. I don't want a guy that's doing all of this, trying to get attention by wearing thousands of dollars on his body, because for me, I'm thinking ahead of that, like, is your bank account match what you're wearing?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't appeal to me anymore. Now, my city girl days back in my 20s, maybe so.
So what's the hard truth that relationships should know right now?
What's the hardship that relationships?
The hard truth.
The hard truth?
Yeah, like, y'all need to stop focusing on this and start focusing on this if you want to build that grandparent relationship. You know, some people don't want to be grandpas anymore, or they call them grandmas.
Yeah, I have seen the grandmas.
Yeah, I'm like, these are the
They don't even want
30-year-old
the
grandmas or the 40-year-old grandmas, and I'm sitting here like, every grandparent I had they felt ancient to me. They were old. You know what I'm saying?
They were old.
Since I was born, they were old to
Right.
me. Right? So it's like, but they're getting younger and younger. So what's the hard truth, you know, in your expertise in your field that you would think, you know, we should know?
I think, honestly, the hard truths in relationships is that people they're not trying to get to know the person. They really are, they have a list. That's probably my best way to put it. Everybody has this list. And I mean, I was, you know, victim of it too. I had my list too. I wanted them to have this or that. But as you get older and you really mature and you really start to have that emotional intelligence, then you realize that you need to start scratching some things off the list that's not realistic. That's not goal. And for real, that's where, you know, I got my boo thing. Hey, boo. But he has so many good inner qualities that a lot of women obviously missed out on or never will get a chance to.
Right.
Because, I mean, looking on the outside into it, you would never know, but conversation. It's as simple as conversations. People don't even know how to have that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the first step anyways.
It's really the key.
Can you hold... When people say I don't like to talk much, I'm like, oh, thank you.
Right.
Yeah, because I do get the DMs. I do get
sure.
you know, the girls want to talk to me.
Right.
But I just left people on red. Like,
as you
like,
should. Because there's certain things you just don't entertain.
Nah, it's like if you're not.
And men need to. I feel like, and I apologize
no,
because
we need to know
because you are very. You said you're very particular.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because men need to be particular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not
men
for
need
the
to
streets.
hold them. For real, men need to be particular, and men need to like hold themselves to a certain. That's one thing that I really, really enjoyed about my husband when I first got to know him is that he was very particular. He ain't gonna just he ain't a drop trials type of man.
Right.
It's like, oh, I'm just going. You know what I mean? He needs to be stimulated and have a certain level of intimacy before. You know what I mean? And
I'm a natural beauty person. It's a lot of people out there in my eyes that wants to look like the people on TV instead of looking like themselves.
Right.
And so when I first look at a person, I look at, are they naturally them? You know, or do they gotta mimic everybody they see, the B. Simones, the Sexy Reds, the Glorillas. Like, don't get me wrong, I like them, but I like them for them.
Right.
But when it's come to you, who are you?
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like everybody got the same catchphrases and this and that. And I'm sitting here like, what am I missing here? Because I grew up on Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I'm not that old, but I watched my parents dance together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, can I dance with you in the living room instead of us going to the club? Like stuff like that. So when I talk like this, because you are married and like you have that, and you have a relationship podcast, it's like, how can I teach me something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to speak to, like, for me, I would say from when I found my husband, I was intentionally looking to learn from men instead of looking to learn from women because I needed to learn from men about men.
Yeah.
How else am I going to learn more, you know, about men? And I started asking more questions from men. You know what I mean? I started getting little things, you know, and I was intentionally asking questions about, you know, what they were looking for, or, you know, what they were struggling with, or what, you know, because everybody talking about, oh, the relationship dating pool is trash. Meanwhile, everybody out here fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And like, no, and I'm saying, and I say that honestly, but I was listening to some of the men that I was talking to, and I was completely lost by the fact that there was women out there who weren't like me, who were, you know, full of shit. Wasting time, you know what I mean? Materialistic,
ignoring
and all the
red flags.
And if men had more, and that's why I love the fact that men are holding women accountable
Nowadays, yeah, for
and
sure.
not rewarding bad behavior.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because when a woman acts like a brat and this and that, not getting their way and not rewarding, you know, certain behaviors. And I appreciate seeing more men like that. At first, I didn't like that shit. So I was
Nowadays,
like, why is this man doing this?
No, because people call them sassy now because they have respect for themselves. Like, if I say don't do that and you still do it and I leave, now I'm a word.
I will say, there's a lot of men that are sassy
but
now.
are men allowed to have boundaries?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
it doesn't seem like it, especially with the list that keeps going on and on.
Mm-hmm.
But to hop back on track, do you believe if you don't fully know yourself, do you believe that you are marketable?
I will say you can. That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's I like good questions. If you don't fully know yourself, are you marketable? I feel like everyone is marketable, but what you're marketing may not represent who you truly are.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone is marketing something.
Right.
Sure.
You know what I mean? We're
Right.
all marketing something. But are you being truly authentic? And a lot of people don't want to show the sides that they are embarrassed of.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Show the flaws. Because they're constantly worried about being judged. And vulnerability it comes into place when you don't know the outcome of how someone is going to respond.
Right.
As far as
And
like
you might
judging
help
you.
somebody
Yeah.
by
So if
being that way.
Exactly. But as far as being marketable, everyone can market, anything. But as far as truly knowing yourselves, I will say it is better to know more about yourself. So I would say self-reflection, self-awareness is key.
Okay.
It's a lot of people who aren't self-aware. And that is a hindrance.
Dive a little bit deep into that one. What do you mean, like they're not self-aware?
They're not picking up on certain cues
Okay.
in the room.
Yeah.
They're not
okay.
picking up. Yeah, they're not picking up
understand.
certain cues that, hey, when you do X, Y, Z all the time,
Yeah.
people react this way.
Right.
And may react negatively, but yet you're complaining. And you're like, you know what? I notice, I can never get, friends. I can never keep friends. Why can't you keep friends?
Yeah, Debbie Downer's already.
Yeah.
I can't be around a negative
They're
person
not
too long anyway.
self-aware
Yeah.
of picking up certain patterns instead of asking like, hey, no one likes to engage with me. Why? The common denominator is me. And asking questions. And I will say, because even for me, and that's why I'm really good at sensing if someone's being authentic,
Right.
and vulnerable, and honest. And that is a gift of mine, and I appreciate it. It's a gift and a curse. I appreciate it, but the main reason why I'm able to see that is because I've been through all of those emotions,
Trial and errors.
Yeah, that trial and errors.
Yeah.
I've been a hater before. I've been jealous before. I've experienced all these emotions. So how can you call out all these things and you've never experienced it?
Ooh.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's powerful.
So that requires a certain level of self-awareness and accountability. Those key things helps as far as knowing yourself and marketing yourself well, and knowing your weakness. I got weak areas, and thank God I got a partner now that can call me out on my shit, and I hate it. But my weak areas is what helps me be more marketable.
And it balances you out.
Yeah, and it helps balance me out.
So coming with a show that's full of relationships, right? And you have people on your show. Have you experienced somebody that's not really fully themselves? And you don't have to say names, but what was your take on that?
You know what? To be honest, Troop, I have not had anyone that I felt like was not really being their authentic person, because I usually either know them or I have a good relationship with them, so I know a little bit about them. Yeah. So it makes it a little bit better, so that way it can transfer over to my audience and it really be the true them, no matter what. Like, I did have a guest that I wish she would have made it on the show, but I knew it was going to bring that spunk and what I needed in regards to the topic I really wanted to touch on. And it's going to come, y'all. It's going to come. But I'm very particular about who I get as guests for certain topics, because some things don't fit certain people.
Right.
And I know this. So mine is, discernment. So to your point, that's something that can be a blessing and a curse too, because I know that, that's not going to be good for you. I get a lot of people just like yourself asking to be on the podcast. And I don't think that you're not on my radar, but I gotta be strategic of what topic is best suited for you that will be able to, relate to my audience, because everything ain't for everybody.
And the way how I picked it is like, because you have this relationship podcast, and this is my friend, and she's a master at marketing, right?
Yeah,
and so when I see them, like, she's
a
a marketing, but then you also just got recently married, so I'm like, oh, this would be a perfect combination.
Yeah.
Plus, we can network too while we're talking.
Yeah.
Right.
So, how does marketing and modeling, go together as far as what you're conveying for your audience? she has these soulful. I just wanted to put it out there. You have these soulful like art. It's like artwork models. Like she's the model, but it's like it almost looks like how he took the picture. It's almost like it's painted. It's like it almost looks like a
I will
painting.
say I'm really, with me being aware of self.
Yeah.
I also know what works for me. So I know I'm not an ugly woman. You know, so
the world.
Right.
yeah, I know I'm not an ugly woman. I try not to lead with that.
Okay.
But at the same time, I understand my privilege. And I'm still gonna use it.
You get out the tickets.
I'm still gonna use it. But I want to be responsible with my privilege.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure that if I'm marketing something, and I know that I am a brand, I'm going to strategically do it in a way that is reflecting my core values. I have a daughter, an adult daughter. And so I know that I'm always being watched. And because I know that my daughter is always watching me, I know others is always watching me.
Right.
And so I think a lot of people tend to forget their privilege and their reach.
Okay.
So, but as far as me using my face and whatnot, I kind of fell into that.
Okay.
I was just doing me, and I was on Instagram in a bonnet because I was trying to actually I hated the fact that people were distracted.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, they want to see me.
The shout out you gave during that segue was phenomenal. And so the bias on being, I guess, a male talking to you, and it's like all these new dating scenarios, right? I can be a little bit biased on it only because it's like everything is sped up, and it's like who really gets to know each other now? And
True.
That's my thing. So I'm like, I want to get to know somebody, but the me and me, like, I'm not about to pay your bills, and I just met you. You know what I'm saying? And it's always looking for the men supposed to court women. Trust me, I like to go to nice places. I like to eat well. But do you deserve to be right here to do this too, or you just want a free meal and then I don't see you again? You know, I would say that I've been on a bad date that I do remember.
My question to you: if you were to take a woman on a date that was very frugal as far as funds, but you know you can provide an experience, what would you do? Where would you take her? Or how would you go about that?
I like
Is
to
it a
plan
typical
days, a day for the date, not just a couple hours. I like, hey, can I meet you at 10 o'clock? I want the whole day with you. So if money is not an option, I done took girls on helicopter dates, hot air balloons. You know what I'm saying? I want you to never forget this date. So anybody who's actually ever dated me, you could actually put it in the comments. Like for real, I took people on some really nice dates, and I also been taken on some nice dates. Some women take me on some pretty cool dates.
Yeah, and they should.
Yeah. Do you think society right now is overly sexualized?
Absolutely.
You stole my
And
next question.
Sorry.
Listen, we stealing each other's stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But I think absolutely. I mean, you see the Cardi B's, the Sexy Reds, and all that, like and then you see your Instagram models. I mean, it's everywhere. You can't get away from it.
Right.
And I think it does. It will literally get in people's heads. I think this is why a lot of, our beautiful queens are doing this to their bodies, trying to emulate what they see. And it's not even necessary, because a lot of the males I've talked to, and maybe you can be able to give me more insight, but a lot of them they don't need all that.
That's a snack. We don't
They
like
don't
that.
need
Most
they don't
real
like
men
it.
don't like the BBLs.
That's
and
what I thought.
all that
That's
other
what I've
weird.
been hearing.
We don't
I've been
like
hearing
that.
that.
That's something that you like, okay, I just want to see what it was like. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that was a roller coaster. You know, and then you off the ride. You're not about to try to take the roller coaster. Huh? You're not doing it. You know, so what would your advice be to women who is thinking to change their bodies because of the image of social media and TV?
I would say don't do it. If you're looking for your kingdom husband, if you're looking for your husband, your future partner, your purpose partner, don't do that to yourself, because a lot of men, to your point, would prefer the beauty. They want to see what you look like in the morning without makeup on. They want to see what it look like with your hair all over the place. Like, they really want to just see the true authentic you. It's not necessary. And a lot of what y'all doing, ladies, y'all can just do the work. Eat right. Gym life. Like, you can get to your body that you're trying to get to, and it can be pleasing to him, but you did it the natural way. So I really do believe that it can be done if people want that microwave results. Everything they want fast. So a lot of these girls are doing this so they can just hurry up and get that body versus just doing the work, and you can get there.
All right, and so 2 moles in the mouth, right? Is that the name of the marketing company?
No. So the 2 moles in the mouth ended up growing into 2M Media. So 2M Media is separate, and I haven't been marketing that only because I've been more having my business has been becoming more word of mouth. But 2 moles in the mouth is me.
Okay.
2 moles in the mouth is about my life, and just anything regarding K.
Yeah.
Now 2M Media, it takes away the face. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't have me connected to it because I work with so many different creatives, and I don't want it to be attached to me. And one thing I've learned is that when you have a face to something, it's good and bad, because you get people who don't want to work with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you get people who want to work with you, and they want access to you. So 2M Media ended up being a segue that I ended up opening to help other businesses. So that way, and because they're the focus. It's not about me. It's not about my front-facing appearance. I want people to be focused on their success, their story, and how they're marketing their business and themselves.
So towards the end of our show, we always ask people to drop gems for our future youth. So we're going to start with you. If you could drop some gems for your younger self or the youth that's looking up to be a podcaster, or for you, if somebody's looking to be a businesswoman in marketing, what are some gems that you could drop for the youth to be somebody like you guys?
No matter the age, no matter the gender, everyone needs a mentor.
I agree.
That is something that I realized as I kept going on in my journey, that I needed help, and I needed someone with the knowledge and expertise in certain areas. And not every mentor is meant for you.
Facts.
So no matter how old, there's some people like, I've come across people that are 50, or whatever, they're older, and they feel like, who's going to mentor me? You'll be surprised. So a mentor is very important. I found a mentor through, and a free one, you can get set up. I went through SCORE years ago. I went through SCORE, and SCORE is a program. Shout out to them. SCORE is a program that provides mentors, and it will connect you to entrepreneurs. And my mentor right now is a 70+ old white man. But you know what? And I was hesitant about that, but he gives a different perspective, and has privilege in areas that helps me, and I'm thankful for that. So definitely finding a mentor is important.
Okay, I like that.
What gems would you drop for the youth?
Ooh. I would say, although, as I said earlier in the podcast, that starting my podcast, it was work, and it was definitely a lot of work. But I say, still just do it. You never know what you can achieve if you don't even try. I think years ago I was told this when I was starting my banking career: you miss 100% of the shots you don't even take.
Facts.
So once that stuck in my head, I realized that I won't know the potential of what could be if I don't even try it. And it's crazy because when I did decide to step out on faith and do it, I got so much positive feedback. And I even received the negative ones too. Bring that too, because at first that was something that threw me off, and I got in my feelings about it. But I realized in life you need the negatives and the positives, because that will make you a better you and make your podcast or whatever business ventures, whatever you want to do. You need that so that way you can continue to grow and elevate.
I would say the gems that I would say for the youth is sometimes the people around you won't be the first people that buy into your brand.
Yeah.
Strangers. I met these lovely ladies a year ago, 2 years ago maybe.
Yeah.
And these people has helped me elevate. Strangers will help you elevate because they don't see you from how you were as a kid growing up. They see you as the boss that you are and present it in front of them. So I would say meet new people, and those people will invest in you first, and then your family, your friends, your close-knit will buy into it because the world now sees you as a boss. So keep that in mind. So coming up next, we have a headlining performance from Chel C. And not only that, she is singing Snoh Aalegra, I Want You Around. She's covering it. Ooh. I can't wait for this drop down mic. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube channel, The Midwest Takeoff. I'm Troop Nation, and I'll see you guys next time on Young Rockets.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chel C. If you want to follow me on Instagram, follow me at r._beautiful. Thank you, everyone here at The Midwest Takeoff. Thank you, Troop Nation and Shani Sims, for this opportunity today. I'll be doing a cover for y'all. It is I Want You Around by Snoh Aalegra. It's not that I don't want you here.
Yeah.
It's something about the way you stare into my eyes. I know that I don't make things clear. No. I fall for you every time I try to resist you. We can get away, palm trees, beach views, ordinary day. All I wanna hear is inner visions on replay, sitting right next to you. I try not to show how I feel about you, thinking we should wait. We don't really want to, I just wanna get away, sitting right next to you. I don't wanna kiss you, yeah, I just wanna feel you, feel you. I want you around, around. I want you around. I want you around. Come through, I think I need you here. I swear it's hard to keep these feelings to myself. No, you're the one I'm thinking of. My higher ground, my rocket love. For gravity, I'd rather stay up here. We can get away, palm trees, beach views, ordinary day. All I wanna hear is inner visions on replay. It's sitting right next to you. I try not to show how I feel about you, thinking we should wait. We don't really want to, I just wanna get